Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, some more of this damn story that I want to get into. So let's before we get into that, make sure you guys go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So listen, this Ben Simmons situation seems to be going from bad to worse, right? We must have done at least 10 videos on this dude. And with every video that we do, it seems to be some type of new development. It seems to be some new thing. It's like we just keep hitting one low after the next, one low after the next, one low after the next. I've never witnessed a situation in the 20 years of me watching basketball. I started watching basketball around 2000, the year 2000, 2001. I have never seen something, a situation as bizarre as this, in all that time. I have rarely seen, there have been some other sports where different things like this happen. Yeah, sure enough. But in the NBA, I've never witnessed something like this before. I've heard of some disgruntled players in the past, some players that didn't want to come to show up. All of these different things. I've heard some of that, but this one seems to take it to a whole nother level. Why is that? The reason this is different is because of the lack of development that Ben Simmons has been showing over his career. You seldom see a player that doesn't seem to want to improve, afraid to shoot the ball, all of these different things, but yet and still feels as if somehow he has some type of, clout to walk around and feel like I can do this, I can throw tantrums and all. It's absolutely absurd. So what happened? Just today I woke up, I read an article that the Philadelphia 76ers yesterday did not pay Ben Simmons, I think, the first installment of his salary, which ended up being $8.25 million. All because he refused to show up to work and he didn't like what his teammate and his coach had to say about him. Now, some of you guys may be out there listening to this and say, but wait a minute, who blows $8.5 million? You know who blows $8.5 million without even blinking because they want to make some type of, stance or whatever it is, to prove something like, I want to show you what I really think, and I want to show you that money means nothing to me, and I'm willing to take a stand for what I believe in, and all of this other nonsense. The people that do this are usually people, number one, that make money very quickly. So therefore, people that make money very fast have no regard for money. Literally. You want an example of this? Look at a lot of athletes. Look at a lot of entertainers, right? A person can go from being dirt broke, maybe having 500, 200, 300, 700, or $50 in their bank account. They sign a record deal or something like that. They get $400,000, and what do? They go spend $200,000 on a chain, $100,000 on a Mercedes, and $50,000 on some stupidness, and then all of a sudden they're back to where they started. Why is that? Because if you have somebody that never had money and you give them a lot of money, they didn't go through that process of understanding what it took to go from point A to point B. You just took them from A to Z automatically. So they didn't understand that process. Usually the people that respect money are usually the people that work for years, and they get it incrementally, and then they grow into it. Why is that? Because they understand that it was hard for me to go from 0 to 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 2 million, 10 million, whatever it was, right? So they seem to value money a little bit differently because all of the work that they put in. When you work hard for your money, you don't want to waste it or blow it. But when it comes to you easily, you feel as if, well, it's always going to come, and therefore, what's the need for me to even maintain it? That's the first reason. The second people that blow money very quickly are kids, right? Kids who grow up in affluent families, who come from families that have a lot of money. And if the parents don't do a good job of giving them good lessons and values, what happens is this. When you grow up around a lot of money and, nice things and all of these different things, it's normal to you. You don't understand all of the things that went into working on all of those things, and all of the work that had to go into, living in this 5-bedroom house, having a Porsche outside, Ferrari, whatever it is, having a pool. You don't understand all of that. You don't understand all of the bills that these people have, right? You're just there. It's all normal to you. So you don't understand really what it takes. Ben Simmons grew up in a basketball house. His father was a professional basketball player. I believe it was in Australia. So a lot of the behavior that you're seeing translate right here, it's really reflecting his upbringing. And to me, I don't understand, I'm not going to get into this guy's personal life to that extent, but to me, it's quite surprising that we have a person like this. And Stephen A. Smith mentioned it, and I do agree with him at this point. It speaks to your heart, man. Your feelings can't be that hurt to start throwing away money, especially money that you earned. Theoretically, Why am I saying that? Because yes, you earned yourself the contract. Have you rendered those services to warrant that money? No, you haven't. But nevertheless, that's the way things are structured in this particular business. So yesterday, I saw a comment from from Shaquille O'Neal. He had made some comments previously in the past, but he made some comments again, and this time he didn't hold back. And I like that. I like it about this particular situation. So the article I'm getting it here, it's from CBSSports.com, and it goes, Shaquille O'Neal isn't holding back when it comes to his feelings regarding Ben Simmons' situation with the Philadelphia 76ers. Simmons has asked the Sixers for a trade and doesn't plan to report to the team until his wish is granted, and that doesn't sit right with O'Neal, especially following Simmons' underwhelming performance in the playoffs last season. One, he's not showing up. As a player, you have to be real with yourself. O'Neal said during the recent appearance on CBS Sports Networks, Tiki and Tianuri. You need to be aggressive, and he definitely got exposed last year in the playoffs. He didn't want to shoot. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I as good as I can be? He's going about it all the wrong way, O'Neal added. He could have gone into the office, said, hey, my feelings got hurt. You guys didn't stick up for me. I would like to professionally ask for a trade. The question is, does anyone want him? I'm not paying $200 million for a guy who will not be aggressive and will not shoot in playoff time. Those are the comments that Shaq made, and I want to take it a step further. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. People are talking about, not all, some people who feel as if, this guy, woe is Ben Simmons, woe is him, oh man, you don't know what he's going through, all of these different people. I have no time for these people. No one here is interested in listening to guys get babied, especially grown men, right, who are professionals earning a lot of money. Nobody wants to hear about that, to be quite honest with you. In the real world, nobody cares about your feelings unless you're dealing with babies and children, right? No one cares. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. People are talking about, the Philadelphia 76ers, they did Ben Simmons wrong. What they said was wrong. Hold up. What did the Philadelphia 76ers have to do with Ben Simmons scoring 5 points in that Game 7? What did the Philadelphia 76ers have to do with Ben Simmons only attempting 34 three-pointers in his entire career, only making 5? What did the Philadelphia 76ers have to do with Ben Simmons shooting 50% from the free throw line? I think it is in the playoffs. What does that have to do with the Philadelphia 76ers? What does it have to do with the Philadelphia 76ers when he had an opportunity to tie that game in that fourth quarter? He had an open layup or dunk. He passed it off to Thibault. I forgot his name, Thibault. A player named Thibault or whatever it is. He had 2 Atlanta Hawks that jumped on his back and the ball went out of. What does that have to do with the Philadelphia 76ers? What does that have to do with the comments that Doc Rivers made after the game? This is just blame deflecting. Period. End of story. People are talking about, you can move him to another team. Maybe he gets into. So help me understand something. From what I've understood from this entire situation is this. Number one, Ben Simmons is very, very sensitive. He's very, very sensitive, and he has, in my personal opinion, he has some terrible, terrible counsel or counselors around him. He has people, in my opinion, that are giving him terrible advice. The worst advice. I don't know if it's Rich Paul. I don't know if it's agency. They are giving him nonsense advice, BS advice. This is not how you help your client. You don't help your client by pacifying them and babying them. If I'm your agent and I'm talking to you, I'm going to want what's in the best interest for you, not just in the moment, but in the future. I'm going to say to you, hey, listen, man, I understand what they said and this is wrong. You want to get to another situation, no problem. I understand that that's your choice, and I'm working for you, and I'll help you get to the next destination. However, you have some serious flaws in your game, and I got to be honest with you. I don't know if your friends are going to tell you that. I don't know if your family's going to, but your game is very flawed. Seriously flawed. A lot of it has to do with the fact you're not practicing enough, you're not confident enough, you're not willing to take these shots. A lot of people talk about, why do people are making a big deal about Ben Simmons shooting 3? It's not that he doesn't shoot 3s. Forgetting the fact that the advent of the 3 in the NBA right now is very prevalent. Forget about that fact. Let's just overlook that fact for a moment. Let's focus on something else. He doesn't even shoot mid-range jump shots. You are playing 5-on-4 when you're playing with this guy. You have to make too many concessions to make this thing work with him. And he's not that good of a player to be making all of these concessions for. Joel Embiid just said we got rid of Jimmy Butler, which was a mistake for Ben Simmons. I can't be making all of these different concessions for you when you're not worth it. He's simply not worth it. People are talking about, he doesn't shoot. Okay, help me understand how an NBA point guard is shooting 50% from the free throw line. Help me understand that. Free throw shooting is all about practice. You look at Shaq. These guys have big hands, so maybe it's a little bit different for them. But then to that extent, it's not even an excuse, because look at Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has huge hands. He shoots last season in the playoffs. He shot 88%, I believe it was, from the free throw line. So what's his excuse? You think you're going to trade this guy, get him to another team, and then what's going to happen? All of a sudden, he's going to have some kind of eureka moment. That's what it is. I need to be in this new situation. And now all of a sudden, I'm going to learn how to shoot. You guys got to be joking with me. This guy is not serious. He's lazy. I've never seen a player with this level of raw talent that is this lazy. I haven't seen it. To me, it is astounding that you have a player like this in the NBA that refuses to improve. And then you got some people out there trying to make it. It makes no sense to me. I agree with Shaq. And listen, I don't think this situation is going to be improved upon. I don't see it. I don't see it. I've never heard this much whining and complaining. Bro, listen, you don't want to be with them? Cool. Yo, handle it like a professional and just bounce. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's too. So to me, I think that this entire situation is absurd, and I really don't care what happens with this situation. The only thing is we have to cover it because we're a sports media channel, so we got to talk about it. But in my personal opinion, I really don't care. I truly, truly don't care. I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers fans care. I don't think his teammates care. I don't think a lot of people outside that organization don't care. A lot of people are over this. People are over this. So these are my thoughts and opinions on that. And what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about this nonsense? And finally, before I close, I'm just surprised that people on TV are not being this straightforward as I am with you guys. Why are people dancing around the table? Say what you really think. This is nonsense. And that's the reason why Charles Barkley is one of the few people out there that he's going to tell you what he thinks. I think a lot of people are going too easy on this guy. So those are my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. I'm done with this guy. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.